Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English in Moments. I'm Elena, your guide, your friend, and your English learning companion. I'm so incredibly happy you're joining me today. It truly means a lot to have you here. Now, imagine this. You're planning your dream vacation, or maybe you're just describing your commute to work, and suddenly you realize there are these tricky little words. Tiny additions to verbs, really. They completely change the meaning. Words like get on, check in, or take off. Have you ever felt a little confused by them? Well, you're definitely not alone. These are phrasal verbs. And let me tell you, they are absolutely essential for sounding natural in English, especially when we talk about travel and transportation. We've explored phrasal verbs before, of course, but today we're focusing on a brand new set. These will make your travel stories and daily commute conversations flow effortlessly. So, in this episode, I'm going to guide you through the most common and useful phrasal verbs, the ones you really need when you're on the go. We'll cover everything from simply getting into vehicles to departing on a grand adventure, or even just looking around a new city. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to talk about your travel experiences naturally, confidently, and clearly. We'll explore practical phrases like get on, check in, take off, and many, many more. We'll put them all into real life context. I'll give you clear examples and easy explanations. My goal is to make them simple for you to remember and use. So buckle up, relax, and let's set off on this linguistic journey together. Get ready to pick up some great new vocabulary. It will truly enhance your travel talk. But first, a quick note. If you're enjoying these episodes and finding them helpful, please don't forget to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to English in Moments. And of course, share this podcast with your friends who are also learning English. Your support truly helps me create more valuable content just for you. And for that, I am incredibly grateful. Thank you. All right, let's begin. To start our journey, we'll explore the fundamental ways we talk about entering and exiting different vehicles. You see, choosing the right phrasal verb here is crucial for sounding natural. Our first pair is get in and its opposite, get out of. You use get in when describing entering a smaller enclosed vehicle. Think of a car, a taxi, or even a police car. It's like this. You generally step down into these types of vehicles. For instance, if you're talking about a regular habit, you might say, I always get in the passenger seat when my friend drives. For a past event, you could explain, it started to pour in rain, so I quickly got in the car to avoid getting soaked. For future plans, I'll get in when you pull up to the curb. It's common as an instruction, too. Please get in the car, we're running late. A common mistake? Using get on for a car. Remember, you always get in a car, you step into it. As a quick practice, how would you complete this sentence? As soon as the Uber arrived, I quickly. The answer, of course, is got in. Now for its essential opposite, get out of. This describes exiting the same type of smaller vehicle. For example, on a regular basis, he always likes to get out of the car right in front of the building entrance. Thinking a past action, she gracefully got out of the taxi right in front of the hotel. For a future plan, I'll get out of the car when we reach the traffic light. As an instruction, please get out of the car carefully on the busy side. The crucial part here, by the way, is the of. Leaving it out sounds unnatural. For a quick practice, form a sentence about exiting a car using get out of. You might say, I had to get out of the car because we ran out of gas. Moving to larger public transport, our phrasal verbs change distinctly. We use get on and get off. You get on a bus, A train, a plane, a ship, a subway, or even a bicycle or motorcycle. These are vehicles where you typically step up or onto a platform to enter. Consider these examples. Every morning, thousands of commuters get on the subway at this station. For a past event, we excitedly got on the plane, eager for our vacation. As advice, wait until the bus stops completely before you get on. And in a question, what time do we need to get on the ferry? The word on suggests being on a surface or platform, unlike in for a confined space. Avoid saying, get in the bus, okay? You always get on these larger vehicles. As a quick practice, how would you complete this sentence? If you want to go to the city center, you need to, the number 42 bus. The answer is get on. When you exit these larger vehicles, you use get off. For instance, I always get off the train at the main station. As a reminder, remember to get off at the next stop if you want to reach the museum. For a future action, the announcement said we should get off at the next station for transfers. And to ask, do you know where we need to get off to find the market? The off means stepping off a surface. For a quick practice, how would you tell someone to exit the bus at the correct stop? You might say, you need to get off at the third stop after the bridge. Let's transition to airports and travel prep. First, for an airplane's departure, we use takeoff. This specifically means when an aircraft leaves the ground and ascends. Examples. The plane usually takes off at 8 a.m. sharp. For a past action, despite the delay, the plane finally took off on time. Anticipating, we hope the flight will take off soon. You also hear the phrase ready for takeoff. This phrasal verb, mind you, is exclusively for aircraft. Buses and trains simply depart or leave. Don't confuse it with just leave when you're talking about the plane actually lifting into the air. For quick practice, describe your feeling when a plane is about to take off. You might express, I always feel a mix of excitement and nervousness when the plane is about to take off. When you arrive at an airport or hotel, a crucial first step is to check in. This versatile phrasal verb means to register your arrival. You can do this at an airport counter, a kiosk, or a hotel reception. For example, international flight passengers must check in at least 3 hours before departure. For a past action, we quickly checked in online, which saved time. For a future plan, I'll check in at the hotel as soon as I arrive. As an instruction, remember to check in your luggage at the counter. It can also be a noun, by the way. What time is check-in at the hotel? This implies a formal registration. A common mistake is forgetting the correct preposition, like for a flight or at a hotel. For a quick practice, advise a friend about hotel arrival. Make sure you check in at the hotel before 6 p.m. or they might give your room away. The opposite of check-in for hotels is check-out. This means paying your bill and officially leaving the hotel. Most hotels require guests to check out by 11 a.m. For a past action, we had to check out of the hotel early to catch our train. For a future plan, I'll check out right after breakfast tomorrow. It's also a noun. The checkout time is usually displayed. Now, this is strictly for hotels. You don't check out of an airport. Avoid using leave when specifically departing a hotel. For a quick practice, describe asking for a late checkout. You might explain, our flight isn't until evening, so I'm hoping we can get a late checkout from the hotel. Let's now discuss giving rides and saying goodbye. Our common pair is pick up and drop off. You pick up someone when you collect them, often in a vehicle. My parents always pick me up from the train station. For a past event, my friend kindly picked me up from the airport. As a request, can you pick up Sarah from school today? While pickup can also mean to learn quickly, in travel, it's definitely about collection. Avoid I will pick you. The correct phrase is I will pick you up. For a quick practice, how would you offer to pick up a friend at a meeting point? Don't worry about a taxi, I can pick you up from the bus stop. Its counterpart, drop off, means taking someone or something to a place and leaving them there. The school bus drops off students at various points. For a past action, my brother dropped me off at the office. As a request, could you please drop me off at the corner? These are common for rides and errands. It differs from see off, phrase which is about farewells. While leave off exists, drop off is standard here. For a quick practice, describe when you had to drop someone off. I had to drop off my aunt at the hospital for her appointment. For those poignant farewells at departure points, we use see off. This means going with someone to an airport, station, or port to say goodbye as they start a journey. It often implies a heartfelt farewell, you know? It's customary in our family to see off relatives on long trips. Recalling a past event, my whole family came to see me off before my big move. For a future plan, we'll be at the airport early to see them off. To ask, are you going to see off your friends on their cruise? This phrasal verb carries a warm, emotional touch. Avoid using just say goodbye to when you mean this specific action. For a quick practice, describe a time you went to see off a loved one. It was sad to see my sister off at the airport, but we promised to video call every week. Let's now move into starting journeys and exploring new places. When you begin a journey, especially a long or planned one, you use set off. This conveys intention and the exciting start of an adventure. We usually set off early when we go camping. Describing a past adventure, they set off on a brave, round-the-world sailing trip. For a future plan, we'll set off for the beach after breakfast. It can also mean ready to go. We're all set off to go. This applies to starting something new or substantial. Avoid overusing start a trip, okay? Set off sounds more natural. As a quick practice, how would you complete this sentence? Before sunrise, the hikers into the dense forest. The answer is set off. Once you've arrived and settled, you'll likely want to look around. This means exploring a place by walking and observing. Oh, it's about getting a feel for the environment. Whenever I arrive in a new city, I love to just look around the local markets first. Describing past exploration, we spent the afternoon looking around the ruins of Petra. For a suggestion, let's look around the shops after lunch. And in a question, did you have time to look around the museum properly? This implies casual exploration. Avoid see around. Look around is the correct phrase. For a quick practice, if you were to set off on a trip today to a new place, where would you look around first? If I set off for Rome, I would first look around the Colosseum. Travel often involves procedures, breaks, and delays. These phrasal verbs describe such scenarios. For a planned break during a long journey, you might stop over. This means staying somewhere for a short time, usually overnight before continuing. Many flights to Asia allow you to stop over in a hub city like Dubai. Describing a past stop. On my way to Australia, I decided to stop over in Singapore for 2 days. For a future plan, we plan to stop over in Reykjavik on our way to Europe. It's distinct from a short layover. A stopover means you actually leave the airport and explore. Avoid confusing it with stop by. For a quick practice, describe a memorable stopover. On my way to New Zealand, I stopped over in Fiji and relaxed on the beach for a day. Next, when you navigate airports or cross borders, you'll go through various official checkpoints. Think security or customs. To go through here means passing a formal process or inspection. Passengers must go through security screening. Describing a past wait. It took us almost an hour to go through security. As a reminder, don't forget you'll have to go through customs. To ask, how long do you think it will take us to go through immigration? This emphasizes passing procedures. While pass through is correct, go through is more idiomatic in these contexts. For a quick practice, how long does it take you to go through customs? And what's your best tip? I always use the e-gates to go through passport control quickly. On a road trip or driving generally, you might need to pull over. This means a vehicle moves to the side of the road and stops. It can be voluntary. We pulled over to admire the sunset. Or it can be at a request. The police car signaled for me to pull over. This is for a temporary stop, you see. Avoid just stop when describing moving to the side of the road. Pull over gives more detail. For a quick practice, have you had a vehicle pull over unexpectedly? Our baby started crying loudly, so we had to pull over and comfort her. Now for the purpose of travel, mishaps, and returning home. When you need a break or want to escape, you say you want to get away. This means going somewhere for a holiday. Often it's to escape daily life. After a busy quarter, I really need to get away next month. Describing a past escape, we decided to get away for the weekend to a cabin. For a future plan, they're planning to get away for a week to explore national parks. You'll often hear, get away from it all. This implies a desire for change and relaxation. Avoid escape in informal conversation when getaway is more natural for a trip. For a quick practice, where would you ideally like to get away to right now? I really want to get away to a tropical island and just lie on the beach. A common travel nightmare is your vehicle stopping. This breaks down. It means a machine or vehicle stops functioning due to a fault. Our old car often breaks down on long trips. Describing a past event, our car unfortunately broke down on the highway. Anticipating, I hope the bus doesn't break down again. You also hear broken down as an adjective. This phrasal verb is crucial for describing frustrating situations. Avoid the car broke. Broke alone means it shattered. For a quick practice, have you had a vehicle breakdown on a trip? Our rental car broke down in the middle of nowhere, but thankfully the rental company sent a replacement quickly. If you're on a road trip, a repetitive task is to fill up your tank. This means putting enough fuel to make it completely full. We always fill up the car at the cheapest gas station. Describing a past action, before crossing the desert, we made sure to fill up with gas. For a future action, I need to fill up my tank before I drop you off. For a question, did you remember to fill up the car? This is vital for long drives. It can also apply to other containers, of course. Avoid just fill. Fill up implies completely full. For a quick practice, how often do you fill up your car? I usually fill up my car once a week on Fridays. After your adventure, when you return home, you go back. This means returning to a place where you were before. After 2 weeks exploring Europe, many travelers are ready to go back home. Describing a necessary action, I left my passport, so I had to go back and retrieve it. For a future plan, we'll go back to the campsite after hiking. You'll hear, "It's time to go back." This completes the travel cycle. Avoid confusing it with come back. For a quick practice, what's your favorite part about going back home after a trip? My favorite part about going back home is seeing my pets and sleeping in my own bed. Finally, when exploring a new place, how do you move around? You get around. This means moving from place to place within a city or area, using various modes of transport or walking. It's easy to get around London using the Underground. Describing a past experience. In Venice, we got around by walking and water buses. For a future plan, how do you plan to get around New York City? This describes navigating a location. Avoid move around without get. Get around is specific to navigating a place. For quick practice, how do you usually get around a new city? When I visit a new city, I love to get around on foot to explore everything up close. Let's also look at unexpected complications or different ways of traveling once you're at your destination. When trying to understand how to navigate a new place, figure out is very useful. To figure out means to understand or solve something. When I arrive in a new city, I always try to figure out the public transportation system quickly. Describing a problem solved, we finally figured out how to use the automated ticket machines. Offering assurance, don't worry, we'll figure out a way to get around the city. This implies mental effort to solve a puzzle. Avoid understand out. For a quick practice, what's the most challenging thing you've had to figure out while traveling? I had to figure out how to convert currencies on the fly. When trying to locate something or someone in a busy travel spot, you might need to look out for them. This means watching carefully for someone or something, often to find them or avoid danger. At the airport, always look out for your gate number. Describing a past search, we were looking out for a sign with our group's name. As an instruction, I'll be at the exit, so please look out for me. This implies active vigilance. Avoid just look for. Look out for suggests a more alert search. For a quick practice, what do you tell someone to look out for to find you in a crowd? I told my friend to look out for me wearing a bright red hat. Now, while mastering these phrasal verbs, it's totally normal to make mistakes. But recognizing common pitfalls, well, that's the fastest way to get better. First, let's clarify get in versus get on with the size and entry rule. You get in smaller enclosed vehicles like cars or taxis. Think of it like stepping down into them. For example, I got in the car. You get on larger public transport where you step up or onto a platform. This includes buses, trains, planes, or bikes. For instance, I got on the bus. The mistake is saying I got on the car instead of I got in the car. Next, for airplanes, remember the flight specificity rule. While a plane might leave the gate, its actual act of departing the ground and starting to fly is always described by takeoff. Don't say the plane left at 7 a.m. if you mean it began flying. The correct phrase is the plane took off at 7 a.m. Then differentiate see off and drop off using the emotion verses. Function rule. Drop off is purely functional. It's about providing transport and leaving someone. I dropped off my friend at the airport. See off, however, includes an emotional component. It means going with someone to their departure point to say a heartfelt goodbye. So, my family came to see me off at the airport. Avoid saying, my family dropped me off to say goodbye, when a see-off is more precise for that farewell gesture. Also, always remember the complete unit rule for phrasal verbs. They are multi-word units, and you can't just drop the particles. Saying, I will pick you is incorrect. it must be, I will pick you up. Similarly, our car broke means it literally shattered. If it stopped working, it broke down. Be aware of the idiomatic meaning rule. Phrasal verbs often have meanings that aren't obvious from their individual words. For example, look around doesn't just mean look at what's nearby. Its idiomatic meaning is to explore a place. Always learn phrasal verbs as single vocabulary items. Finally, watch out for incorrect prepositions after the phrasal verb itself. For instance, you don't say, I will get off the car. The correct phrase is, I will get out of the car. Paying attention to these nuances, believe me, will significantly boost your accuracy and naturalness. To truly make these phrasal verbs a part of your active vocabulary and move beyond simple recognition, here are even more powerful strategies. First, immerse yourself through contextual learning. Go beyond single sentences. Try creating mini dialogues. Imagine two people chatting about travel and intentionally weave 3 to 4 phrasal verbs into their conversation. For example, did you manage to check in online? Yes, but our bus got held up, so we had to rush to get on the plane. Also, try narrative building. Take a past trip or a dream vacation and write a short story. Force yourself to include as many relevant phrasal verbs as you can. This really helps build natural flow. Second, embrace active recall and spaced repetition. Use flashcards, either physical or digital. On one side, write the phrasal verb. On the other, put its definition, 2 or 3 different example sentences, and maybe even a quick drawing. Use a system like Anki to review them at increasing intervals, moving them into your long-term memory. Also, do sentence generation drills. Look at a phrasal verb and immediately try to create 3 new sentences without looking at examples. Third, engage in listening, imitation, and echo practice. Try shadowing. Listen to this podcast or other native English content like travel vlogs, focusing on how speakers use phrasal verbs. Pause and try to mimic their pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm exactly. This builds muscle memory for speaking. For echo practice, when you hear a phrasal verb, immediately repeat it out loud. Then try to create a new sentence with it without much pause. Fourth, leverage categorization and mind mapping. Expand your categories beyond just travel. Create subcategories like airport phrasal verbs, check in, take off, go through, or road trip phrasal verbs, pull over, fill up, break down. Visually organize your phrasal verbs on a mind map. Start with travel in the center. Then draw branches for departure, during journey, arrival, problems, and so on, placing the relevant phrasal verbs on each branch. Finally, engage in focused self-correction and journaling. Keep a phrasal verb journal. Whenever you encounter a new one or realize you've made a mistake, write it down, correct yourself, and then write a new correct sentence. Also, record yourself speaking about a travel experience using these phrasal verbs. Listen back critically. Are you using them correctly? Do you sound natural? This, my friends, is a powerful self-assessment tool. By implementing these strategies, these travel phrasal verbs will become much more intuitive for you. Now, my amazing learners, here's your final, most comprehensive practice challenge for today. Think about a recent trip you took, or perhaps an elaborate dream vacation you're planning. Your task is to write a short, cohesive story or narrative. Aim for a paragraph or 2. Seamlessly integrate at least 7 to 10 of the phrasal verbs we learned today. Try to use them naturally to describe the journey, the experiences, the challenges, and the feelings associated with your travel. For instance, your story could begin like this. Last summer, my family and I decided to set off on a road trip across the country. Before we left, we made sure to fill up the car with gas. On the first day, we had to pull over because our GPS wasn't working, and we needed to figure out the right direction. When we finally arrived at our first destination, it took us a moment to get around the unfamiliar city by public transport. We were so tired from the driving, I just wanted to get away to the hotel and catch up on sleep. Thankfully, we had checked in online, so it was quick. The next day, we woke up early to look around the historic district before heading off to our next stop. Please continue this story or create your own. Be creative, be descriptive, and don't be afraid to experiment. Share your fantastic narratives in the comments below. I'd absolutely love to read your immersive stories and witness these powerful phrasal verbs in authentic action. Your dedication to this practice is incredibly inspiring. Thank you so much for joining me today on English in Moments. It's truly been a pleasure to guide you through this ultimate masterclass on essential phrasal verbs for travel. Remember, every phrasal verb you master isn't just a word. It's a key to unlocking more natural conversations, deeper understanding, and a richer English experience. You're not just learning English, you're building a bridge to more confident communication and truly expressing yourself. Keep practicing these phrasal verbs in your daily life. Use them in your thoughts, in your conversations, and in your writing. The more you use them, the more they become a natural part of your English voice. If this lesson brought you value and helped you feel more confident about speaking English on the go, please take a moment to like this video. Also, subscribe to English in Moments for more valuable content. And please share it with anyone on their English learning journey. Your support helps our wonderful community grow, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you. And remember to share your practice story in the comments. I can't wait to see what amazing sentences you create. Until our next moment of English learning, keep your curiosity alive, keep speaking, and keep exploring the beautiful world of language. Bye for now, and see you very soon.